Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Earhard. My student ID is 0068564115. This is a creative fiction piece I've written, currently going as an untitled story. Ears ringing, world swaying, and vision blurred. Calico leans against the crumbling barn wall for balance as he tightens his grip on his revolver. He takes a deep breath to calm his nerves, only to breathe in thick smoke and black powder from a nearby cloud of destruction. He coughs violently, gasping for fresh air as he moves along the wall, entering through an open door half off its hinges. The inside of the barn looks more depressing than its exterior suggested. The wood's molded over and rotting. Stacks of decaying hay are strewn about haphazardly into a corner across from the stables. The pungent smell of spoiled milk and stale air fills his lungs. Despite the appearance and smell, Calico's shoulders ease, and the grip on his revolver loosens slightly as he lets out a breath. The brief respite of shelter and cover vanishes as the sound of another fuse hissing cuts through his pulse pounding in his ear. With a sudden burst of energy, Calico dives behind a bundle of hay, knocking over buckets of rotting and spoiled milk. Another ground shaking blast goes off, launching the large barn doors flying open and slamming against the wall, splintering into hundreds of little arrows. Spurs jingle with each approaching footstep. Peering through a gap in the hay bales, Calico sees three figures emerge from the thick cloud of dust and smoke. A woman, with a wide brimmed hat, wielding a crossbow adorned with various occult like trinkets. A scrawny man, covered in soot with disheveled hair, wielding a scrappy looking single barreled boomstick. Leading the formation was a graying, bearded man with a large claw scar across his face. His revolver is holstered, cross draw, as he chooses to light a cigar with a match rather than shouldering his weapon at the ready like the others. The scarred man lets out a large cloud of cigar smoke. Your luck's run out, kid, he says with a lifelong smoker and gravel voice. Calico shuts his eyes and holds his breath like a child hiding under blankets to hide from imaginary monsters. But these monsters are oh so real. It's only now Calico realizes he hasn't heard from Carrie. His blood runs cold, and his mind begins to race faster and faster. Had she been caught in the gunfire? Did she get hit in the explosion? Did she run off with the horses? Then there was a moment where his heart sank. Had she double crossed him? The world went still at that thought. Doubt, fear, anger, and sorrow all welled up inside her in an instant. Everything went numb. You can hear the spurs jingle with each step as the hunters move through the barn searching for him. Come on, kid. We just want to chat, the gravel voiced man said with a smile in his tone. Just a few questions and we'll be well on our way. Calico knows that's a lie. They sure as hell wanted him dead with all that dynamite. He peeks through a gap between two hay bales to see the scrawny man within sight. His eyes are up in the rafters looking for him. The other two, he could only guess based on their footsteps. Perhaps one remained by the door he came in from, while the other stands somewhere in the center. He's outgunned and damned either way. Might as well take out one of these bastards with him. He raises his revolver between the hay at the scrawny man. With a breath out, he pulls the trigger. A cry of pain erupts from the scrawny man, following the gunshot. He clutches his side and ducks behind the stable posts. Calico gets up from his cover to fire at another hunter. Freezes halfway through the motion. Click, click. Hammer pulled and the barrel to the back of his head. Puff of cigar smoke surrounds Calico. Stupidest shit you could have done, kid, the scarred man said, following a drag from his cigar. He gestures with his offhand, waving the other revolver like a conductor's wand towards the woman and to the scrawny man. Janice! Batch him up before it bleeds out all over the damn place. Janice gives the scarred man a slight glare as she moves to the scrawny man. Gets up, meets her halfway with a grimace on his face and a fistful of blood over his wound. Janice holsters her crossbow and takes some sort of wooden trinket out of her satchel. She presses it firmly into the scrawny man's wound with little care, muttering some incantation under her breath. He lets out a hiss of pain as he grits his teeth, muttering a curse. In seconds, the trinket began to absorb the blood from the wound as flesh wrapped over itself, sizzling and popping little blood bubbles that either dripped to the ground or got caught up into the trinket. Calico can swear he heard another worldly set of whispering voices that accompanied Janice's chant. Snap! Calico whips back into reality as Janice snaps the trinket in two with one swift motion. He hadn't realized how absorbed he was into the healing process he had just witnessed. He could see the once gored, now bare skin through the torn and blood-stained shirt of the scrawny man. The scarred man looked at Calico, then followed his gaze to Janice and the scrawny man. With a smirk and a puff of smoke, he says, Now that all them theatrics are done, let's get to talking, boy. He then shoves Calico forcefully to the ground towards the center of the barn as the trio approaches. The smell of sulfur fills the air with a demonic quality, all combined with the stench of rot baked under the sun. Calico's eyes water as he suppresses a gag as the rotting smoke grows in intensity. A pit forms in his stomach not only from the smell, but the look on the hunters' faces. Darting eyes lost in focus, listening.